7.2 is a really nice transition from 7.1 because there isn't really much new. You're just exercising two skills that you already have. So 7.2 is multiplying and dividing polynomial fractions. Okay, and you're really just combining two skills. Okay, one is just how to multiply and divide fractions. And the second one is how to simplify polynomial fractions. And that's it. There's nothing new. So, just to give you an example really quick, here's number 2. X over 3 times 12 over x plus 5. So you have two choices here in terms of what to do first. What could we do first?
Cross cancel?
Yeah, we could cross cancel, or you could just multiply and cross, right? You could either say this is 12x, 3x plus 5, remembering absolutely that this is a group. Okay, and that'll be a common mistake people make off and on, but the more you can absolutely remember that's a group in terms of distributing in negative, in terms of distributing in that 3 times x plus 5, always deal with it as a group. In terms of canceling, okay, you can never cancel this x with this x because that x is part of an x plus 5. But yeah, so one option is multiply it together. The other option, because it's the normal multiplying fractions, is you can, yeah, cross cancel. This becomes 1 and this becomes 4. And so, 4 times x is 4x over 1 times x plus 5 is x plus 5. Nice.
So moving it over, like I said in the first option, you can do it right there as well, but 12 and 3.
Exactly. So here, you could reduce this one and say, oh, divide the top by 3, divide the bottom by 3, because it's already factored on the bottom. And so it's 4x over x plus 5. So it doesn't matter which order you do it, but this does have to be factored. If you distributed the 3 in, you would have to factor it back out before you cancel. Right? So in general, you want to keep everything factored. You don't want to really multiply things out. Okay? So, just gonna be really clear on, remember, remember 2 things. You can never cancel one part of a group. Never, never, ever, 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 ever. And the 2 is just always factor first. That's it, just first. Always, always, always factor first. So let's just do some more examples. Again, nothing really new or different, just practicing the same things we were doing in 7.1. Alright, so here's number 8. We got x minus 2 over x plus 9 times 5x plus 4, or sorry, plus 45, 2x minus 4. So our big golden idea here is, what should we do first?
Multiply across. No?
Cross cancel. GCF?
Factor?
Oh, we should always factor first. You guys are good. Yes, we should. So this one, already factored. Already factored. This one, as Dan just suggested, we'll take the GCF out 5. We'll take the GCF out 2. And so that was all we could do. So we have x minus 2 over x plus 9 times 5x plus 9 over 2 x minus 2. And now that everything is factored, now we could cancel whatever we wanted. Okay? Right? Always factor first though.
So you can cross cancel them, right?
Yeah.
X minus 2 and a 5.
You can cancel, because really, look at this, I mean, this is really saying 5 times x minus 2 times x plus 9 all over 2 times x plus 9 times x minus 2, because we're multiplying the tops together, multiplying the bottoms, so this is really just one huge term, one huge clump of multiplication, one huge clump of multiplication, so we can cancel anything from the top. It could be in the same fraction, it could be in the other fraction, anything from the top with anything from the bottom after it's factored. Okay, so what can we cancel? X minus 2 and x minus 2. X plus 9, x plus 9. What are we left with? That's it. Alright? But you have to factor first. You cannot cancel anything before it's factored.
Can we make that 2.5?
Yeah, you could. I wouldn't. I don't like doing that. But you can. Yeah. Okay, here's 28. Okay, 28 is a little bigger. Same exact strategy. Okay, so we got 2y over 3 minus y squared times 2y squared minus 9y plus 9 all over 8y minus 12. Okay, so what are we going to do first?
Factor.
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do first. Okay, well this one's already factored, so nice, we're already quartered that. Okay, let's do an easy one. This one, we just take out the GCF before. This one, there is no GCF, but we're still going to have to factor it. And this one's a little interesting. Did I write it wrong? It was 3y minus y squared, sorry. Mr. Y in there. Alright.
So you gotta factor that one too?
Yeah, but I noticed something.
Oh, that's negative y.
Why?
Y squared.
Why?
Because it needs to be in front. It needs to be, yeah, something like that.
Exactly. You need to put this in front, right?
Do something to it.
Yeah.
Something. But that's a big part, is noticing this is written in the wrong order. So it's actually,
Negative.
and what I'm gonna do is with this part, and with this part, I'm gonna just pull them out to the side. So my main flow of the problem is still gonna go down. And I already did these two.
That would be negative 1.
Well, first it's just negative y squared plus 3y. Didn't change anything, just reordered it.
Just reordered, okay.
And now I say, oh, okay, what do I wanna pull out?
Negative.
So a negative and
A y.
a y. But you notice that because it's in the wrong order. Last time I was solving this, I didn't notice. I just pulled out a y and said y times 3 minus y. And that's when I said, whoa, 3 minus y is in the wrong order. So I erased it, went back and said, I'm gonna factor this the right way. I'm gonna take out a negative y. So when I take out a negative y, then I'm left with, divide this by negative y, and you get y. Divide this by negative y, and we get y minus 2. Okay, one last one to do. Okay, and what do we gotta do?
Factor that one.
You can say it.
Hmm?
You can say it. What do we gotta do?
You do the x factor. No, you can do a hokey pokey.
There it is. We're gonna do the hokey pokey. Okay? So, we're gonna put this 2y squared minus 9y plus 9, and we're gonna multiply in an extra 2. And multiply that to get 18, and now I'm gonna write it out. I'm gonna say that's 2y plus something times 2y plus something, and I divide out my 2. And I set that up first, so I don't forget anything. And that's when I say, oh, okay, so I gotta add to -9, multiply to 18, that's -2 and negative, whoops, that's not, that's -3 and -6. Okay, so 2y minus 3, 2y minus 6, and now I'm gonna take my GCF out. GCF is 1, GCF is 2. So 2y minus 3 times 2 times y minus 3 all over 2. And so see how I did it off to the side? So now I can go back to the main flow of my problem, and I can write that back in and say, okay, 2y minus 3 times y minus 3. And what that does is I see my first step here is factor. So in one step I factor. I had to go off to the side to do some of the factoring. But my main step now, boom, is factor. Okay, what do I do after that? Yeah, sure.
No.
Well, you can do it, be brave, man. Even if you're wrong, it's still fun. What can we do? You're committed now, man. You signed the contract.
No, I thought something. Cross cancel something, right?
Shh.
Oh,
Man, don't steal his thunder. So what are we gonna do, Jeremy?
can you cross cancel y minus 3?
Yeah, we can cross cancel y minus 3 more, man. Tenaciously, grab it. What else?
Well, there's 2y minus 3, but it's, you cross cancel.
Yeah, because it's one fraction. We can simplify this fraction. For sure we can do that. And what else? I mean, we could multiply this together as is and get 2y over minus 4y, but look, there's still stuff in there.
And then you can, it's half y.
Yeah, so we can cancel this and get 1 and -2, and even more.
Yeah. It's -1/2 y. Lies. Oh, the y squared.
That'd be if they were multiplied together, but they're dividing.
Oh, you can cancel them out.
Yeah, and so what do we get?
Negative 1/2.
That's it, that whole thing was really just -1/2.
Just for that? You got all that just for that?
Yeah, just for that, that's beautiful, man. You got all this mess and you simplify it, whittle it down, and it was just inside the little unwrapped package was just a little -1/2.
Whole book and one problem.
Exactly. Woo! I like that. Okay, so one last thing in this section. That's basically it. So just factor and cancel. Exactly what we did in 7.1. Okay, and I mean really, when I have a multiplication sign here, you could really just think of this as like that. So really it's just one big fraction. I mean that's what multiplication is. You just multiply the top, multiply the bottom. So really it's like we even have one fraction already. So it wasn't like we did anything new. We were just factoring 2 things on top and factoring 2 things on bottom. But that was it. So it was easy. So one last thing is division. And it's one single step, right? But I'm gonna remind you, do not cross cancel with division. That's the mistake people are gonna make, is before they flip that division, what they're gonna do is they're gonna say, oh look, there's something and it's just sitting there, so nice, there's a 2 or a y plus 5, I could cancel it. You cannot. You can only cancel with multiplication. Okay, with division, the stuff that's on bottom doesn't belong on bottom, it's actually on top, it's messed up looking. Okay, so the first thing you gotta do with division is you flip it over. Okay, so Okay, and there's so many people that are gonna walk this fine line there, and can't I factor first? Well, yes, technically you can. Can't I simplify first? Yeah, there's a kind of some, so people are gonna bend all these rules. They're gonna say, okay, well, what if I've got a problem like x minus 2 over x plus 9, let's say divided by 5x plus 45 over 5x plus 50, okay? Now people could say, could I factor first? Well, yes, you can factor first. You could make this 5x plus 9 over 5x plus 10. And then they say, well, can I cancel those 5s because they're in the same fraction? Yes, you can, but by getting closer and closer to the limit of breaking the rules, you're gonna make a mistake here or there. So why wouldn't you just first? It's literally this easy. You just go, hey, this is the same thing as, and you just flip it over. Do that first before, but can't I, no, just flip it over and you were done. Now there's no more division, no more room for making mistakes with that. Now you can factor, you can cancel, everyth's easy. But first, before you factor, yes you can, but before you do anything, just flip it over, okay? And I know people could be like, but can't I? Okay, you technically can. But in order to avoid all possible mistakes, just always flip it first. So here's an example, and that's it. There's nothing else new. So when I get x plus 5 over 7 divided by 4x plus 20 over 9, what do? Yeah, so what would it become?
X plus 5 over 7 times 9 over 4x plus 20.
That's it. Do that first, and now it's basically just a 7.1 problem. Okay, now it's just factor and simplify. Okay? Okay, just don't do anything first, okay? Just first take this division, turn it into multiplication, and everything's okay. So now we'll factor, we'll say, oh look, this is x plus 5 over 7 times 9 over 4 times x plus 5. So what can I cancel? The x plus 5, and you get nothing else cancels. So it's 1 times 9 over 7 times 4. Okay, but the main thing is absolutely just literally flip this second fraction and change it to multiplication, and then it's an easy problem. Alright, we'll do one last example, and I'll set you free on this, and you'll have like half an hour or so to work on it. And regardless of where you are in the homework, I would recommend immediately practicing these problems after just having seen it. Okay, x squared minus 4 over x minus 2 divided by x plus 2 over x minus 2. So what should we do?
Cross cancel.
Get out of here. So what should we do?
Flip it.
Yeah, so what do we get?
X squared minus 4 over x minus 2 times x minus 2 over x plus 2.
There we go. Now it's all easy peasy. First and foremost, you have to flip it over. Okay, so this is already factored. This is already factored. This is already factored. So what's this top one going to be?
X minus,
The order doesn't
yeah,
matter.
x minus 2.
Yeah. Over x minus 2 times x minus 2 over x plus 2. So what cancels? X minus 2 with which one?
Does it matter what order,
It-
which one goes first?
It doesn't. But what does matter is I had somebody asking, would it cancel with both? No, because on top you have two of them. You have an x minus 2 times x minus 2 or x minus 2 squared. So when you cancel out one of them, one of the two on top cancels, but there's still one left over. And then we could also cancel the
X plus 2.
x plus 2 and x plus 2. And again, it doesn't matter whether you cancel this one out or whether you cancel this one, in the end, you'll be left with one copy of the x minus 2 over 1, or just x minus 2. Again, do not ever cross cancel with a division bar. First, just flip it. Whatever's written there, before you do any factoring or anything, just flip it over
Can
and
you
then.
flip the first step, or you have to do the second step?
No, always the second. It's the same thing with like 5 minus negative 2. That's saying I'm adding positive 2. The 5 never changes. The 5 is a positive 5 just sitting there on its own. And then what I'm doing is I'm subtracting this number, or I'm adding this number. So all these operations that we have here always apply with the following number. Saying start here and do this. And so when we divide by this, that doesn't change what we start with. It just changes what we're doing. So dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by, and you flip it over 1/2, right? Dividing by 3/4 is the same as multiplying by 4/3, regardless of what we start with. We could start with 7 or 100, and that would never change. Yeah, good question. Okay, let's do it. So yeah, you got about half hour to work on this, and then what we're gonna do is adding and subtracting fractions at about 1, and that's where the difficulty starts to ratchet up a little bit. Today they'll have similar denominators, other than negative signs, but then tomorrow morning, they will have different denominators, and that's when things really get crazy.